Evening all. Just doing a little vlog on some of the, not precautions, but some of the things to look out for when you do practice the craft or druidism or witchcraft that you may not be prepared for or have experienced and wonder if it's normal, is just checking out my lava lamp. is probably first and foremost, whenever you are relaying something that's happened or that you've experienced to someone else, or you're thinking, just relaying the story like I'm doing now or have been before, is you will get cold, insanely cold, as if you're sitting on an ice cube. And I don't know why this is. So when you go into the storytelling of something that's happened or happening, when it comes to the esoteric and the gods, etc., magic, the spirit realm, so forth, you just go cold. And myself personally, I get shivery. So right now, my hands are freezing and I'm shivering a little bit, and I don't know why, especially when I start relaying the stories of things that I've seen and, what you would probably call a ghost, or I start to shake myself. The other thing too is when you've done a ritual or a spell, is how insanely tired you will be. So I would try and veer from practicing anything on a Sunday night if you've got a massive day the next day with work or what have you on a Monday, especially if you're new or you haven't developed your armor yet, if you know what I mean, within the craft. I've had instances where I've had even communication from the gods. I've been shown something, then that night I've gone to sleep and I've woken up 2 days later. Like, there could have been an earthquake and I wouldn't have woken up. So it will leave you insanely tired. So it's not just you. And I wouldn't recommend drinking coffee to power through, for health reasons. Coffee is great as a spell item, also in beauty products, but not the best for inside your body, especially long term. Digressing anyway. So, you're going to get insanely tired. That is normal. If anything, you can recognize that real work has happened, whether it's come from you or the gods or both, or the energy spirits around you or nature spirits. The other thing to look out for is sometimes you just don't want to know what other people are thinking. Sometimes you don't want to know, but then you do, and you have to deal with that as if a physical act or physical words have been said to you, and you got to deal with that. So this is probably the area I'm in. Is I for myself personally, I'm a little bit of a hermit. I feel most comfortable surrounded by nature, animals, and myself and the gods. I feel closer to them than people. Not because people are bad or anything like that. I find most people these days, they are so far from the gods. They are so far from nature. They are so far from animals that I don't even recognize them. Or they're starting on the path and they're like children. Not in a bad way, but when you're at a certain level, you sometimes long to be at the same wavelength with other people at the same level. And it gets disheartening when you feel as though the only time you can do that is when you're with the gods themselves, or with animals, you know. There. So that's probably one of the other downsides or things to look out for and to keep in balance, because it's no good to be a hermit all the time, and to be introspective all the time. So yeah, just balance that out and be aware of it, because unfortunately sometimes the more if you see of the world which is false, the less you want to do of it. And you could probably liken this to of the Norse folk, who may not have the interactions with the gods like I've discussed before, but they have the connection and longing to be back connected to nature how it used to be. And they'll go live in the cabin somewhere and shut off from the world while the world's falling apart, and that's not healthy either, So there's a definite need to do that, to heal and to spend time with the gods, time with nature. But I can't articulate why, but it's wrong to just do that and be selfish completely. Do it to a degree, but you have to have hope that there's people out there who want to have kinsmen that are in a path or direction or an area where they long to go, if that makes sense, on a spiritual or emotional plane, or in a plane of knowing. So, but I can totally relate. I hate to say it, but if the world disappeared tomorrow, like people disappeared, and it was just me and animals, and I wouldn't feel happy or sad. I'd just be like, oh yeah, because I'm never alone. I am surrounded all the time by all these energies and these, gods and nature spirits, and I may not have I'm not with anybody right now, so I'm a practicing celibate. I am only with people, I'm only with a partner if I love that partner and it's a true love. And if I don't have anyone who's my equal that I feel that love with, I choose to be celibate because I have no desire otherwise. So, I've had, guys try it on. And I'm like, no, I'm not interested. I'm not remotely attracted to you. Just because they're, very young in mind and that sort of thing, or what have you. And they're, oh, what about love? I'm like, I'm surrounded. I'm surrounded with love all the time. I never really feel alone. So if I'm going to put anyone on a pedestal in my life and pull them close in a relationship sense, then they're going to have to be my equal, or at least aware and investigating the things I do. Otherwise there's no point. I'm not going to sacrifice one moment that I have with the gods for someone else in that way. So yeah, watch The Hermit. Call it the hermit trap. It's good to go in, spend most of your time inwards if you like, but try not to cut yourself off, because that's not going to help. I'd like to think we can try and save our planet on the many planes, not just a physical plane, and that we can actually work with the gods and have honour. So they're just a few little things that you may or may not be aware of, or have probably experienced yourself in the not downsides, but the cost of experiencing magic or spells or ritual. Blessed be.